It's Wednesday. We are wizards and warriors in a never-ending story. It's time again for our weekly cult meeting, Wizard Wednesday. This is Elf.
And Dota.
And Jitcy.
Hey.
And the one who rings.
Wow, we've got someone up here as a speaker today who has never been as a speaker, and because we have some good news. We have some good news, and it is we have hired the one who rings as an official Magic Machine employee. So, what do you have to say, the one who rings? All right.
A bold statement. That's perfect. You know, I understood every word of that. I know exactly how you feel, Magus Wazir.
So I have given Magus Wazir basically like three major responsibilities, which I don't mind sharing with you all now. And so the responsibilities are one, just professional meme lord. You know, one of the things that we love about the one who rings is just like the incredible amount of cult content and hilarity that they bring to the cult. And I just always thought it was a shame that they had a different job. I was like, how about you just keep doing what you're already doing, but like don't have a different job? We'll give you a budget and you can work for us. And so job number one is meme lord. Second job is this answering this question of like, I've joined the cult, now what, right? So if I've joined the cult and I want to kind of, you know, we had someone a couple months ago that joined and they were saying, oh, I'm a screenwriter, I just bought my first wizard and I want to like write lore. Explain to me, like, how do I write lore? What do I do? I like want to be creative. I want to join the cult. And so there are a lot of people working on this, right? Jitzy and Locke are working on some things. O are working on some things. You know, there's a lot of people helping that, but you know, I especially wanted to kind of add the one who rings because they're just so prolific and be able to create character sheets and you know guidelines and tools. And so one of their jobs is basically being like, let's say like I don't know, like lore on border. I don't know. We probably need a better name for it, but you know, I've joined the cult. Now what? Answering that question. And then the third job is, you know, I'm sure you've seen they've developed some like video games, and we are doing some mini games of our own, which you'll hear more about as the time goes on. So, you know, they're also actually a talented programmer. So we are just so excited to have the one who rings as one of the official team. You know, it's kind of bad when you like hire your biggest cheerleaders because now when they like say good things about us on Twitter, everyone will just think we paid them off. But no. So you know, so I just couldn't be happier to have him as part of the team. So yeah, give him a congratulations in the Discord.
Yep. I couldn't be more excited either. The one who rings has been with us for a very long time. And you know, I just love that we can hire people from the cult into Magic Machine. I know that ever since we brought Jitzy on, there's just been so much activity that's been happening at Magic Machine that I'm not even privy to, I'm not even aware of, but I'm glad it's happening because I don't want to have to like oversee and like architect everything going on. Like just last week, or not last week, but a few days ago, I'm sure a lot of you saw the first episode of Coffee with Magic Machine with Jitzy and Loch Ness. And that was great. It was really great. Sorry, I still am getting over COVID. Dodo, go ahead.
Yeah. So we've got So Jitzy and Locke have started Coffee with Magic Machine. There was a first episode. Jitzy, so you maybe you could give us a bit of recap about what went down at that meeting.
Yeah, it's the first episode. I think, you know, me and Locke had a little bit of nerves, but I think it went well. Just talking a lot about the cult and other things that are surrounding them, like, you know, NFTs in general, and anything we kind of wanted to talk about. We've said it once, I'll say it again. It's kind of like this conversation piece that will happen with people a part of the cult, but other communities to kind of bring them in and just have combos. So happy to see or excited to see the evolution of that conversation in spaces And if anybody wants to pop on in next week, please do so and have a conversation with us. It was great. I love ranting, so I'm all for it.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about the proposals that you went over? Because didn't y'all talk about some of the proposals from the DAO?
We didn't get around to that this
Okay.
week, but the plan is, to reach out, have individuals come on there and talk about their proposal. So if anyone has ideas, they're thinking of brainstorming or in the proposal form itself, we will make time for that, right? Just not last week.
Hi, Matazuki.
Hi. How's it going?
Good.
Yeah, so Coffee with Magic Machine was great. And then Jitcy, you and Magus Wazir are also working on a wiki, which it was something that's long overdue. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, definitely. Me and Wazir and Locke actually got into a conversation, and the whole goal was kind of just like, we know that the cult's been asking for more official lore. We've heard it for a long time. So how can we activate that and make it happen? And we think it's through a wiki, right? We've all seen traditional wikis of some shape or form. It'll take that type of stance, but the whole goal will be to kind of give Elf a platform at first to put some of this official lore down, and then we'll be able to, eventually attach it to the game. But, places like on the maps or heads or lore will come together, and then we'll eventually kind of like transition and opening it up to the cult. We're kind of working through the processes of what it can be and should be, because it's a little bit different, right? With it being decentralized world building. So we're working on it, thinking about it. Wazir is the coder. I am not, so he'll get most of the credit here. I'm just, happy to help and help set it up, but give us some time and we'll make something happen.
Yeah, I'm very, very, very excited about this. Some of the ways to think about it is like the book of lore is very much like narrative driven, right? It's like the book of the stories of the wizards and warriors and creatures of the Runiverse, and narratives and songs and pictures, and the wiki is maybe a bit more like encyclopedic, a bit more expository, right? So we can kind of like keep track as a community of like, what are the magical items that we know about, what are their histories, what are the locations, what are they like, what are the different factions, the different wizard hats, what do they mean, right? We've talked about this on Wizard Wednesday, but we haven't really written it all down in this searchable way. And so I'm sure you all have seen different wikis.
Terraria is a good example, right? It's like pretty informative.
Oh yeah, I'll link that one. That's a really, really good one. So, so it's going to be so fun to be able to have something here. I'm going to link the Terraria wiki into the Secret Tower, and I think we're imagining something like this, where you can basically come in and find an index and be like, look at all the items, all of the heads, all of that. So it's going to be so fun.
Yeah, well, when the game rolls out, right? Like, I know we talked about on the side of most, I think the Terraria wiki, I think they have it. They have like informative stats on certain items and everything else. So it will expand to wherever we want it to go and where it should go, right? And I think the cult will be able to help with that process too eventually.
Yeah, I wanted to say a few things about the wiki, because one question we were debating internally is, what's the difference between the lore that Magic Machine creates and the lore that the cult creates? And there's a few ways to talk about this. And for a while I've been saying only create for the wizard or the warrior or the character that you own. When you make lore, try not to necessarily make broad prescriptions about the Runiverse. Try to just focus on your own character. And that's a loose guideline. It's not steadfast. But while you're doing that, then we at Magic Machine will, we release things like the map, and we name a lot of the places on the map, and we talk about the meta lore and the history of the Runiverse and why it exists, and the different political factions, just sort of the more general overarching storylines. So, for example, we've got this expanded map coming out. It's done. We're just going to roll it out in various ways. But anything that I put on the map, it's something that I have lore about, and so that will go into the wiki. The political factions, all that information will go into the wiki. Um, and I think that's where we're going to start, at least. And that's sort of the scaffolding upon which you can create your character lore if you want to. um, but I say that that's where we're going to start. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's how it's going to be forever, because just like in human history, and the way that folklore and legends and myths have rolled out throughout the ages, these things are subject to change. If the cult wants to change like a core piece of lore, or anything that Magic Machine has created, if that lore is compelling enough, then it can become quote unquote canon. Um, so again, I always say that the lore creation of the Runiverse it's a back and forth. It's a give and take between Magic Machine and the cult. And so the wiki will be ever growing, ever changing. It'll run in parallel with the book of lore. I'm sure there's going to be overlap between these two. But what I like about the wiki is this is a wiki is like it's a familiar tool or a familiar platform for just about anyone on the internet. And so for maybe outsiders and newcomers to the cult, maybe the book of lore is not necessarily user friendly or obvious to them. They can go to a wiki and they'll be able to understand and read that, and it'll be a good entry point into the Runiverse. So anyway, I'm really excited about the wiki. It's going to be great.
Interesting topic too, right? Is like how can we get more people involved that aren't as comfortable? And I think you're exactly right, which a wiki does that. So looking for more and more products and tools like that to help with storytelling and bring audiences in. So yeah, I 100% agree.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so a few other things I just want to talk about. I want to talk about Beast Zero today. I want to talk about, we have a few party things. I want to talk about the poster contest.
The Warriors airdrop.
Yes, yeah, that was a huge thing. We airdropped a bunch of warriors. Actually, Dota, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I was asking Miss Dota this morning. I was like, "How long ago was the Warriors airdrop? Like, have we had a Wizard Wednesday since then?" She's like, "That was just 4 days ago." And it's just like everything is moving so fast. So yeah, so the Warriors airdrop. So the mint had been open for a while, and it kind of slowed down, and we were just like all thinking. We were all talking over the weekend, and the one of the things that I felt like, so we talked about this before. We had these options: do we lower the price? Do we close the mint, or do we airdrop all the rest? And we wanted to kind of leave the mint open for a bit of time, just to kind of like watch the market and see if the market sort of changed. And I definitely do feel like we've started to see a little bit of relief, at least in NFTs, if not in like the broader market. Like, I don't know that the bear market's over, but I'm just saying, like, you definitely saw some other projects popping off, of course, this weekend. And um, to kind of like just close the mint, we asked around, and just one of the things that was really interesting is like people's main concern was not like, they weren't like, "Oh, I want there to be fewer tokens in the world so that way my tokens are worth more." Everyone kind of shared our feeling, which was like, it would be a bummer to not see those other characters, right? It would be a bummer to burn all of those other warriors and then just have it be like over. Everyone really wanted to see these new warriors come into the Runiverse, and we did too. And I think that like really on the day of the mint, right? Even though we could see that the market was just the worst it had been in years, for us, like, not moving forward felt a little bit like taking our ball and going home and just being like, well, the market's not good enough for us, so we're going to withhold it. And I feel like it was the same thing with regards to closing the mint, which is like, what are we going to do? We're going to say like, no, no one gets to enjoy these characters because like we didn't make enough money or something. No, that isn't what any of us wanted. And so So yeah, so we were just like, you know what, really, like, let's not get hung up on what we think should have been. Let's give these tokens to everyone. And so it was like, as soon as we just kind of like decided that, it was just so obviously the right choice. And so we decided that, I think, at like 3 o'clock on Sunday, and we'd airdropped everything out by by about 11 o'clock that night. And I'm just so excited to see all the characters out there. I have a feeling of like, even though I feel that like we maybe missed a window of opportunity, just because of the market. I could talk about that for a long time, which is that like I don't necessarily think that I learned very many lessons with how the drop went, because it was just like hard to know what the right lesson was in terms of like our own, performance, right? For us, it felt like this idea of like the lead up of having Christian Nairn, and then, Dialectic and Alexis Ohanian, and, having Derek join to help write the show, like all these things that we lined up. I feel like it really was just like the market fell out from under us, right? We had 50,000 pre-mint people, and then like when the day came, people just didn't buy because no one was in a buying mood, right? And so I think that like it was easy for me to maybe get hung up on what I thought should have been, but at the same time, we have just so many ideas. I have like such an abundance mentality around like what I want to create and what Elf wants to create, and our whole team now that we have coming around us together. And I just felt like the Warriors mint hanging open was like hanging over all of us, right? Everything was just kind of grinding down, and it just felt like insurmountable. And so yeah, so there's so many things that we want to work on. So I even alluded to the fact that the one who rings has joined us to help us work on some like play to earn mini games, which you'll probably be hearing more about in the next few weeks. And so there's an infinite amount of things that we are excited to build to add into the Runiverse. And so yeah, I was just so excited to airdrop these tokens this weekend, and see everyone kind of like already start writing lore, start telling stories about them. So
for me, it was really crucial to not just burn these warriors, because I wanted to maintain the wizard to warrior ratio, um, meaning more warriors than wizards, and that exact ratio. Secondly, it's we've talked about this before. Like, these core characters are crucial to world building, and they are the foundation to world building. And we've got to get them out there. Is the thing. Now that they're out there, now I feel like we can start building. And we couldn't really build a world without enough characters in it. So yeah, we had to get them out. We didn't want to burn them, and so we were very happy to airdrop them. And now the building can begin. I mean, yeah, I agree with the take on abundance mentality. It's cliche to say, but this is just the beginning. Um, so yeah. Well, how about I do a little bit on Beast Zero, which we released today. Speaking of characters, I think you guys saw the tweet about it. And so yeah, Beast Zero. First of all, it's going to be up for auction at a Christie's benefit for this thing called MAPS, which stands for Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies. How perfect is that for a wizard cult? There's already a lot of psychedelics in the collection. And so when we were invited to participate, I thought long and hard about what from the Runiverse would be appropriate for this. And by the way, thanks to Ryan Zur of Dialectic for inviting us into this. And so, first I'm just gonna say I don't know how many of you have taken psychedelics, but I highly recommend it if you're interested. Uh, and without going on a huge tangent about all this, I'll just say that in my experience, there's really great power in experimenting with these substances. because they're like keys, capable of unlocking gates to other realms. And in the cult, we have unlocked the gate to the seventh realm. And so we saw these fantastic beasts issue forth from it. And so I thought that a beast could really speak, a beast that spoke to these other realms would be perfect for this. And of course, the primary candidate is the quantum Ouroboros, beast number 0. It's beast 0 because it is outside of space and time. In fact, Beast 0 may not even have come to us from the gate of the seventh realm. It is 0 because 0 looks like a circle, and it is a GIF because a GIF loops forever. The Ouroboros is perhaps the most significant beast as it pertains not only to what Forgotten Runes is about, but what humanity or human history is about. Because we see history roll out before us in cycles. These cycles loop eternally. They reverberate like an echo. They repeat patterns of love and war, greed and charity, dreams and despair. Humanity sings the same ballad on the stage 10,000 years ago, the same as they do today, and the same as they will tomorrow. And the dragons of the Ouroboros watch this drama through the eye of providence, sitting outside of it, agnostic to it all. And so you'll notice in the Ouroboros, these are double holy dragons. And so one of these dragons counts the days, the seasons, the tides and the rains, the wildfires, the migration routes of beasts. The physical universe and all its activity is etched upon its scales. And then the other dragon is devouring the first from the metaverse. You've got the physical universe dragon and you've got the metaverse dragon. And we know that all meta reality, i.e., all that our computers show us, are the result of a CPU processing data in cycles. And the amount of data that these cycles process is growing exponentially. And so metaverse is devouring the universe. And the quantum Ouroboros is about this creation and this destruction simultaneously. We know that many of the earth-shattering implications of quantum computing, of the many implications of quantum computing, total annihilation of the blockchain is among them. Which, by the way, will be fine for wizards because we all know that Dota encoded Forgotten Runes to be quantum proof, so I'm not worried about that. But the quantum Ouroboros is a commentary on all of this. It's outside of space and time. It is Beast 0, and I think it's perfect for this charity auction. And so that's what Beast 0 is about. It's not really part of Beast season 1 or 2. It's sort of outside of the seasons, and its function, its utility. These things will reveal themselves in time. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say about Beast 0.
Amazing. Have you read about quantum entanglement? Okay, so the quantum
Yes.
entanglement, it's crazy. They're able to like take a particle, right? And someone needs to correct me because I don't know what I'm talking about. Matazuki, you know this better than I do. So you're able to like take particle, entangle two particles together, right? Then you can send half of the entangled particle like over, like whatever, over a fiber optic line or something, and then change one and the other one changes regardless of distance, faster than the speed of light. Like they're actually like entangled together regardless of distance through some sort of like quantum entanglement, which is like absolutely incredible. Matazuki, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, you got the basic gist of it. Essentially, it's two particles that they are connected in some way that we're not quite sure how it works out. So that's just what we can sort of. There's tons of stuff we don't quite understand how quantum mechanics works, but you can essentially separate them to like the furthest opposite ends of the universe, and things that you would do to one particle would have a reaction instantly to the other particle. I mean, obviously, we haven't been able to test how far that works, but so far it seems like mathematically, since everything works out that for whatever reason, you were able to essentially have those two particles they're just permanently connected in this way that they seem to have some way to relay things between those 2 points, but we don't know how, and it seems to work, faster than the speed of light. Like I said, it's just instantaneous.
Well,
So you can have with these entangled particles, they are like, I guess a good way of saying it is that they are like connected by like soul. They're like spirit particles. They will forever be able to have that bond.
guys, they're two dragons eating each other's tail. That's how they're entangled. Obviously. I mean, did you not listen to a word I said?
Yeah,
So we are going to need to use this mechanic. We are going to use,
yeah. I utilized it before in the lore for Magus Devon that she uses her Wound of Mercury in order to tap into that quantum entanglement using quantum mushrooms. So while she's she's able to actually communicate with her familiar Spinor using quantum entanglement as the properties of quantum entanglement, so she can send messages to him wherever he is, because of their travels through different different dimensions and such. No matter what, she'll always have that line of communication with him, so she can never get lost.
One of my favorite things about the whole quantum discussion is it's sort of that word quantum has sort of been appropriated by the New Age community, and you've got these so-called spiritual gurus like Deepak Chopra, who they just sort of pepper their language with that word when they're trying to just like look for a word that serves as filler for ideas that are difficult to express. You just use the word quantum, and it's become sort of a stylistic virtue signal, which is why we talk about quantum style. And I'm not like passing a criticism on that way of speaking. I just think it's really fun. Uh, it's it's just sort of like a word that straddles magic and science at the exact same time, depending on who's using it. And that's what I love about it, because it's so difficult to explain properly, that you almost have to use art and style to talk about it, at least from the layperson's vantage point.
Right. A lot of that has to do with because it's just how new of a discipline quantum, like the understanding of quantum physics are. So it kind of is in a way like modern day science. I'm pretty sure like if you go along throughout human history, anytime there's like a new scientific discipline, there's so much unknown about it and so much that we're discovering about it that like the layperson at that time completely just there's no real way to explain it because we don't have the tools yet that are built for really like understanding it. And so it just seems like magic.
Yes.
As we learn more and as we get more tools to understand what exactly is going on, we'll be able to like slowly chip away at that, quote unquote magic, and then it will essentially become just like understood as like general knowledge. But until then, it's just such a mystical. It's so unintuitive to us as humans because we didn't evolve to really understand anything on that kind of scale. Like going back to quantum entanglement is like the way that it works is simply because like time and space are one and the same. So like spatially, when you actually separate those particles, they're not really separated. It's just that we don't quite grasp the concept of time and space being the exact same thing, right? We have that distinction of space being separate from time. So like even though we spatially separate them, they're still connected through space time, but we can't really understand that. right? But that's, you know, that's just like we know that's how it works, and we build devices based off of that, you know, like our GPS satelliting system. So
Well,
it's like, yeah. So it's great stuff. And like you said, like there are people who they you know they tap into that unknown to try to like bring out that spirituality and such, which, you know, there's you know there's some positives to that, because it does, you kind of expose people to these kind of ideas, and a lot of it is kind of philosophical because we don't really know the exact implications of how these things can affect our lives, you know. And there's lots of there's plenty of theories about how, I don't know, how if we take this further, you know, like what does that imply for us, you know, these concepts. And so I think that there are some truths that people come along the lines of when they tap into this stuff. You know, as long as you avoid the charlatans who are trying to take your money from it.
Right.
I'm just going to say I am certain that when quantum physicists finally break this all down, they're just going to see two dragons eating each other's tail. And anyway, speaking of, we've got a party coming up in NYC.
It's going to be amazing.
And I hear rumors that I don't think the quantum Ouroboros is going to be there, but I have heard that the Gigas Chad may show up. Just rumors, not confirmed just yet. Speaking of beasts. But you know, I think we were going to have Locke come on today, but I think she's got prior engagements going on. But I wanted to say a few words about the poster contest that Locke held for us. And we've announced the winners of that, right? That's happened.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, we have. Yep.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we chose 3 people. We chose Manimal. I think it's Manimal who did the tower poster, and PVA who did the awesome
3D render.
What's that?
The 3D render one.
Yes, the 3D render one. Those were the 2 runners up, and then Tanya Del Rio with just this adorable little like party scene of a bunch of wizards just partying as the winner. And I just wanted to talk about our thinking behind choosing these posters. So I'll start with PVA's poster. It's just such a really nice. It's just such a great illustration. It's just beautifully done, nicely composed. There's just this epic feel to it. It just feels big. It feels powerful. And, you know, it feels like a real scene in New York City. And then they put the text "Wizards and Warriors awaken the cult," and you know, the imagery just really looks like that's what it's trying to say. Just awaken the cult for this like epic event in New York City. And so we really loved that poster. I mean, listen, art contests honestly are ridiculous. It's impossible to choose. It's a like at some point art is just so good that you can't really rank it. It's an absurd proposition to like choose art that's better than other art, you know, because there's a million different criteria upon which to base your decision. So, you know, I don't want to sit here and say one piece is better than the other. I'm just going to tell you why we chose these pieces to win or whatever. So yeah, and then Manimal's poster, it's just designed so well. It's clean, it's clear, it's from a just like a pure graphic design perspective. It's practically flawless. It's you know, it reads well at a small size. I mean, if this was to be printed as a poster, it would just, you know, you could look across the street at it and know what it is. Um, it's just beautifully rendered. I love the like sort of the staticky texture in it. I love the colors. You know, this person, I can tell they like went to graphic design school, and I mean that as a compliment. They just really look like just It's an intelligent approach to graphic design. But then the reason we chose Tanya's poster as the winner is because, ultimately, what is this piece of art trying to say? It's trying to say that there's going to be a really fun party in New York, and everyone's invited, and it's going to be big and fun and colorful and wild and silly and joyful and happy. And all of that is represented in this image. It's just adorable. It's just oozing with goodwill and fun, good vibes. You look at the faces of every little character that she drew, and they're just you just love all of them. You even got somebody doing the impy shake, um, with their little butt poking out in the air. I just love it. And it just sort of exemplifies everything that the cult is about. And so, yeah, I look at this image and I just smile and I think, yeah, I want to go to that party. And so the image just worked for what we were trying to say with these invites. And so that's why we chose that one as the winner. But there was so many good entries. It was really
So
impossible to
many.
choose. Yeah, I could say stuff about every single entry, but these were the ones that really stood out to me, at least.
Agreed. They're so fun. And there were so many great like other entries, right? So Bread had one that was super fun.
Yep.
Oz did this like really cool pixel art of the Statue of Liberty. There was just like, yeah, I can't even name them all. We gotta dig them up. They were really really great.
Yep.
But yeah, the MP Shake sealed the deal for Tanya, I think.
When in
There was
doubt,
something
do
like
the empty
26
shake.
entries, remember correctly. Which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's see. So, oh yeah. So let's talk airdrops. We'll talk about the comic airdrop, which is coming up this Friday. Well, the snapshot this Friday will airdrop in this weekend. Well, right before that, let's roll back on the Warrior airdrop. One of the things I forgot to mention earlier was the Warrior airdrop. Actually, so one of the things that was a consideration with the Warriors airdrop was just like, well, how do we do it? Do we give it like, do we give one of the things that we think about is that the wizards are rarer than the warriors, and really like the wizards are going to kind of be, of course, like the wizards are going to be like a prime part of all the collections. So we were thinking like, oh, maybe we should give, all like drop more warriors to the wizards first. But then when we thought about like kind of how the drop went, about the fact that sort of the warriors were on the drop of the warriors mint, we thought, the right thing to do here is to drop an extra warrior to everyone who bought a warrior already. And what we did there was it wasn't even about who minted; it was literally just whoever was holding warriors in that moment. We've also had, there's a lot of details. We've also had people using NFTX, which is, it's basically like a tool for being able to buy and sell floor tokens for warriors and wizards very easily. Typically, we haven't included NFTX holders in the airdrop, but this time we decided to. We probably will again. We will for the comic book at least. And so, but what you basically, and then we even had a few left over. We actually had enough left over to give every wizard holder, regardless of whether you had lore or not. Just if you were a wizard holder, we had enough to send you at least one warrior. And people can say, oh, maybe that didn't reward big holders of wizards or whatever. But for this drop, it worked. So what this actually means is if you actually had a wizard and you wrote lore before the original snapshot, then you would have been airdropped or you could have got a free warrior basically during the free mint phase back when we were minting, right? So you have one wizard with lore, you get one free a warrior. And then through this airdrop that we did this weekend, because you had that free warrior, we actually airdropped you a second free warrior where we paid the gas. And then because you had a wizard that had lore already, you also got another warrior for having for holding a wizard. So actually, if you had a wizard, if you're just a very small holder, right? You were one small holder that you had one wizard that had lore back before the original snapshot, you would have actually got 3 free warriors. And so that actually helped kind of, this idea of like, let's say, supporting the little guy and helping him kind of get these free warriors. And then also at the same time, if you bought a bunch of warriors, as many people did, the large holders were also rewarded with 1 warrior for every warrior that they already had. And so I felt like it was a nice balance between rewarding basically larger holders and also smaller holders. And another thing that I found is we've part of the point of why we even wanted to do warriors in the first place was to provide a lower price point entry into the cult, and even have the ability to have like a gifting culture, right? So we've seen this quite a lot of times. Like I think retired yield farmer has given away a warrior. I've seen, well, oh man, I should have written the list. I've seen at least 3 or 4 people, or I've heard, have given I think Jitcy gave away a warrior to one of his friends. And I think if you find that you sort of have warriors, maybe more warriors than you need, I think really, like, it's your token, do whatever you want, right? Like, hold it, sell it, write lore about it. But one of the options that I want to plant in your mind is this idea of like bringing new people into the cult, right? Like you have someone who's maybe, into, not quite into NFTs, but they're interested, or someone who's like, into video games, or someone who's into creating art, right? Like I would definitely consider that if you find that you have warriors to spare, consider even gifting them, right? Because I think that it's really only through kind of growing the cult with like-minded creative people who are going to be around a long time, and like who you like spending time with. That's how we are going to like grow this community with like people that we want to like be around and hang out with. So yeah, so that's the warrior airdrop. The comic airdrop, that's coming up. So there's a few things you should know about all this. So one, we're going to do a snapshot on Friday at noon Pacific, and we're going to give 1 comic NFT to every wallet. And so people are saying to me, "Well, Dodo, like, what, aren't people just going to split their wallets?" And well, like, maybe go ahead, like it's fine. But this time, what we're going to do is 1 per wallet, and we'll also include NFTX this time. And what we're going to do is we're going to airdrop to you sometime when gas is low. So let's say probably over the weekend. We are going to airdrop to you a token, which will be basically a cover variant that is only available to people who are in this airdrop. So that's holders already. We really want, the point of the comic, right, is to get the comic into people's hands. And so, especially with the physical version, we're printing 225,000 copies. We're going to be handing them out at the party. We're going to be handing them out at Comic Cons. And it's funny, in this digital world, it's almost like the physical version is more special. And so we're actually going to embargo, like we're going to hold on to the reading the full digital version of the comic until people are able to physically see it at NFT NYC. So you're going to get your token for the comic, use it to read the comic online, the party at NFT NYC, the same day that everyone who gets a physical version, not everyone, but like the same day that the first physical versions drop. We're planning on, I know that not everyone can make it to NFT NYC. We're planning on trying to come up with a way to like at least have an interest list of like people that want us to mail a physical version. There's not really any crazy tokenomics where you need to like burn the token or whatever. Like just give us your address, we'll mail you a copy. Maybe it'll be capped if there's like too big of a demand, but that's the first pass. Okay, but one of the things you need to know about as a collector of these NFT tokens is that we are doing a partnership with a significant crypto brand. I'm not sure if I can announce it yet, for this comic. And part of that is that we are going to, there are 5 other comic variants. And again, in the same way that the point of the physical comic is to get the comics in people's hands, right? It's not trying to be this like, we only print 1,000 and now they're all worth, $200 each or whatever. No, we want like your kids to have a copy that they can read on Saturday, and if it gets ripped, you're like not that worried about it. In the same way that we're trying to like get distribution for the comic, we're doing the same thing with the comic NFTs for this first edition. So we're doing a partnership with this large crypto brand, and the 5 cover variants will have a nearly unlimited supply, is what I'm saying. So the comic, so the comic that you will be airdropped as a holder will not be available to them, but the comic itself will be able to be minted of these other 5 variants with a somewhat unlimited supply. And so I just want to like kind of like throw that out there because it might affect sort of like how many you decide to collect on secondary, to know that the supply might be quite large for the first version of the comic that we're doing with this partnership with a brand. So does that make sense? If not, I'll explain in a blog post and or in the Secret Tower. So all that to say, the point of the comic is to get these stories out, and we're like so excited for everyone to see it, read it. I think it's really high end. The artist that we had on it is incredibly good, and it's gonna be fun. Okay, so it's been announced. The party, Oliver Tree. Oliver Tree is our special musical guest. He will be as the Gigas Chad, so you should come to New York.
Yeah. It's from what I understand. I mean, we've been talking about the theatrics of this party, and if you guys don't know who Oliver Tree is, theatrics is it runs in his blood, it appears. And I think it was actually even his idea to dress up as the Gigas Chad for this performance. And he's kind of a Gigas Chad himself. Like the last music video I saw of him, he's pretty ripped. So I think it's going to work out pretty well. But yeah, it's gonna be epic. I mean, I think I don't know how much I'm supposed to say, but I think they're even like building like a replica of the gate to the 7th realm. Maybe I'm spilling too much, but it's Oliver Tree as the Gigas Chad. That is our musical guest.
Hi, Lorepunk. Hello.
Hi, how are you all
Hi.
doing? Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
I just wanted to give a shout out to Two Crows because Two Crows has just launched his key collection, and I am a greedy guts, and I bought the one of one key, and it came in the post today because it's
Whoa.
Wizard Wednesday. Yeah. So I've got this thing here, and I know we're not like on video, but if you guys want, I could unbox it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, post an unboxing video.
Please unbox.
Do you want me to do it now, or do you want me to like wait?
Wait, I would say
let's
wait.
can you post a picture?
Can I
What do
post
you
a
say? Go
picture?
ahead.
Well, I can post a picture, but I have to open it, and it's locked up tighter than motherfucking Fort Knox. So I've got this.
Well, it
I got this
is a
box.
gold key to the 7th realm.
Yeah, it is a gold key to the 7th realm, and if you go to my OpenSea at Lorepunk.eth or just search for Behold the Field, you can see it came with this really cool NFT that looks like a playing card. And Two Crows and his wife have like a jewelry making company. So right now you can kind of hear me ripping this box. And so I got some bubble wrap here, and I've got this tiny little green box, and I've got a leather pouch that says Huckleberry because the actual name of their company is Huckleberry. And I'm opening the box, and there's another green box inside the box. So I've got double box going on.
What's in the box?
Well, I'm opening it up, and I've got a cross, not a key. Is Two Crows here? I think I've got the wrong thing.
Oh
Foiled.
no!
Oh,
Two Crows.
wow. We all wanted a video. The Discord all wants a video too. The Discord disagrees with me. I'm the only one that wanted a live audio.
Oh man, I am so sorry. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on with this, but I'm not a Christian, so maybe.
Two Crows.
I'm sorry. Anyway, I do apologize. There's
No.
just been
It's the
some
key
sort
to
of
the wrong
crossed
gate, Two
wires.
Crows.
That's
the one.
Well,
and
this
one.
is the one for the angel because you guys have got the angel,
Oh man,
The
it's
Ouroboros.
so funny.
the Ezekiel style angel with the eyes. So, but anyway, apologies for the confusion, and I will step back down.
It's
Thank you for
okay.
sharing this moment for us. Yeah, we love Two Crows and we love you, so I think this is all wonderful.
Hey,
this
this
might be
Yeah,
means we get to
shit
look forward
happens.
to the real unboxing later.
Yeah, well, I'll let you guys know.
Yep.
might be a good segue into something that I want to talk about for a second, which is
Being a Christian.
yeah. No, one of the things that I'm trying to do, and we're having one of the streams actually after this Wizard Wednesday, is the Forgotten Stream, and this is like a good example of something. I'm putting a type form together that people can fill out, and so we can like host these small experiences happening. Anywhere from what we just heard, along with like a writer session or art workshop, whatever we want it to be. Hoping to get more on that stream going, and so more information soon. But we'll be playing with Magic Machine. Like we're playing a game starting at 6:00 after this Wizard Wednesday, and we also have it set up for like a Baldur's Gate run through. It's basically D&D through a particular game, and also one-shot D&D campaigns. So more information later, but it's one thing I'm trying to activate for sure is more of those instances being able to get video and seeing it happen in real time.
Yeah,
Cool.
there's a game that we're gonna play later today. Jitcy will post about it in Discord. I saw Two Crows pop up, and then he left. Two Crows, we need you to explain yourself. But Henboyd, you come up as well. Do you have something to say?
Yes, a segue into what Jitcy just said. My name is Henboyd, and I am currently have a proposal with the House of Wizards to fund a part-time video editor for our Monday Magic Memos. We're doing a show each week where our goal is to post on Mondays, basically to summarize all the cult content that has happened during that week. We were going to post our second episode on Monday, but we've run into some technical difficulties. We're going to get that straightened out, and we're going to put another episode out there. But I just wanted to put an invite to all the cult members out there in whatever you're doing for the cult, to get up with me or Mr. Brown or Slim. We want to know what you're doing and what you're building. If you're a member of the Kobold Guild, or if you're a member of the anything, your specific big guilds or artwork that you're doing. We want to know to keep track of all that so we can report that on our show. It's about 15 to 30 minutes. We've hired the guy who's going to do the video editing. So we're full up and running, but I just wanted to put a little plug out there for that. We'll be tweeting about it and everything, but that's all I had today.
Awesome. That sounds wonderful.
Yes, that does sound wonderful. And also, I want to say thanks to Henboyd. I think you were one of the ones who actually gave away one of the airdropped warriors that you got. I think you were one of the first people I saw who did that. So that's freaking awesome, man. Thank you so much. Two Crows, man, I really want to hear what this confusion and mix-up was about.
I think he said it in Discord that his other client got, just an order got swapped, and
Oh, they
another client
switched
got the.
up.
Yep. That's
Oh,
fine.
wait,
It seems simple enough. Simple mistake.
It's
Here
an
he's
honest
coming up.
mistake.
Yeah, it's an honest mistake. It's fine. I
Uh-oh,
still want the keys.
another client's gonna be opening up the gate to the seventh realm by accident
Yeah.
and unleash
Yeah.
unspeakable.
Yo.
Yo.
I'm like, I got a flop sweat from hearing that. I was like, no.
It's fine.
So I sent my assistant that I actually share with my wife, who's not part of the jewelry company, down to ship, and she went to ship what is a Xanax cross. So it's like Xanax bars and a cross.
That sounds awesome.
It is pretty awesome. And so it was, by the way, it's to a client that already ordered one and wanted a second one to hang on the chain. So now I have to call her and let her know that she now has a key that she won't know what the fuck that goes to. I feel so terrible. So
You're fine.
Whew, that's
Easy to fix.
Yeah, well,
It was entertaining, that's for sure.
it was entertaining. I'll give us that. And Lorepunk is being especially sweet and nice, and that's what happened.
Good
Cool.
stuff.
So let's see. So we have like a lore reader. So 1-800-DeFi is reading lore for their wizard. So 1-800-DeFi. If you are here, request to come up on stage, and we'll bring you up, and you tell your lore.
In the meantime, I've got a few pieces of cult content that I have to shout out.
Great.
So I'm just looking through our timeline, and the first piece that really stands out to me was posted by Eris at Chaotic Good, and it's this amazing illustration of one of the Impling Spawn by Althea Huang. I love seeing Beast Spawn artwork, especially the Implings. They're one of my favorites. It's such a beautiful piece. Really nice colors, really nice composition, and the Impling looks mischievous as hell. And then PVA did another awesome illustration. This is the second piece I've seen from PVA. Just a really cool style, a really gritty style. I imagine PVA used the same technique of building a scene in 3D first and then rendering it. And it's a technique I use a lot actually. But what's really cool about PVA style is it's really hard to get CG artwork. It's hard to get it looking organic and hand drawn. But PVA is really good at doing that. So really nice piece. And then Block Moko submitted this really cool illustration of a warrior, Layla, Defeater of Glory. Just a beautiful
I've got a bunch
illustration.
of these up in the shared tweets, by the way. So if you're on Twitter Spaces on your phone and you flip through the shared tweets up top, you should be able to see a few of them. So you can see Blockamoko's Lila Defeater of Glory is up there. Sorry, go ahead.
Yep. And then I gotta mention this amazing illustration for Coffee with Magic Machine. I can't. Who did this illustration? Jitcy, do you know the Coffee with Magic Machine invite illustration?
Yeah, it's cool. My mic's not going. Can you hear me?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it was Astroyon, if I remember correctly. I might be, maybe I'm getting that. No, it's Astroyon, I'm pretty sure. He, fun work. A lot of stuff with the semi-supers. Amazing. I mean, it's just, you smile when you look at it, right? It's great.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's just so good. I love this style. There's just so much personality to it, and just I love the expressions on you and Loch Ness's faces. It's just so funny. It's
I
so
lost it when I
charming.
saw the coffee cup in the foot. I just I don't know. I just woke up then and saw it and was just laughing because I also had my coffee cup in my foot because that's what I do. So
That's great. So good. And then I saw another ceramics piece by Sammy Kitty. It looks like it's almost finished. Just the next step is the glaze, but I think this is the first fully 3D physical warrior I've seen, and it's a horse head warrior, so that's freaking awesome. Those were the pieces that really stood out to me this week. Oh, Artsy also is got a post by Daniela Illustra of a warrior with a jaguar. I just love this style so much. Super detailed, really beautiful.
Well, I don't think 1-800-DeFi is coming up to read their lore. So if anybody wants to come up on stage, feel free. Or we have maybe a minute for their questions. Or maybe we're done.
Last minute questions or comments. If not, don't worry. Wizard Wednesday is a never-ending story, and we'll return again next week. Anything else, Dota, Matto, Jitzy?
Nope. Love y'all.
Two Crows, I hope you get that key sorted out.
We'll see you next week. Same wizard channel, same wizard time.
That's right. This has been Elf,
and
Dota, Matatsuki, Jitzy, Henboyd, Two Crows, channeling out from the Quantum Downs.
See ya.
GN, everybody.
Bye.